It's Wednesday, the 25th of April, and I'm going to Lambeth. I'm going to meet a group called Active Travel Now, who I think are really quite exasperated with Lambeth and with the mayor, with a very slow pace of progress for walking and for cycling in the city at the moment. I first moved to London 10 years ago, and I moved to West Norwood. Moved around a lot since then, to New Cross and to Tooting, Battersea, back to Tulse Hill, before finally being dragged north of the river a couple of years ago. It means I spent 8 years or so commuting through Lambeth. When I first moved to London, I felt like Lambeth were certainly saying the right things. They were at the forefront for delivering the cycling compared to a lot of the other boroughs, for what that's worth. And in fact, just before I left Lambeth, they were working on a really very ambitious scheme to filter a lot of the residential streets through Brixton, Loughborough Junction, Herne Hill. It looked like really good proposals. They tried it out for a few weeks, and then a lot of motorists made a big fuss about that, shouted loudly. Council backed down, reversed pretty much everything that they were planning to do there. And since then, I guess maybe they've got scared, but they have failed to deliver any alternatives to that. And it feels like the borough is just generally very stalled, even going backwards. I've heard just in the past week rumours that they've been boasting to some of the residents who were against those cycling and walking schemes that they're basically misappropriating the Quiet Ways money and spending it on streetscape improvements rather than for enabling active travel. This is a borough where by far the majority of households don't have any access to a car. This should be one of the easiest places to make progress. So it all just feels like Lambeth is slipping backwards, so no longer at the forefront. I think that's what this new group making a point about today in Lambeth. So let's go and see what they're up to. So I'm here with Sean. Sean, why have you got a load of people standing in the street this morning?
Morning. We've done Make the Lane Lambeth. Following on from successful demos in Islington and Southwark, we've come out yet again to make a protected space for cyclists in a city that's hostile to cycling. We picked this particular location because Lambeth Council have been particularly poor on cycling. Since 2014 they've been making bold pledges and bold promises to deliver 15 and 20% modal share by 2015 and 2020 respectively. They failed on that. And they failed on that because they've not done anything. They've not built new infrastructure, and they've not made cycling feel safe and welcoming to all people in Lambeth. What they have done is they painted some queues on the road in spots, They put some roundabout routes in that send you all around the houses but don't take you where you need to go. Specifically here, they had some good plans. They had plans to upgrade this route to a protected track with bus stop bypasses which provide safe bus stops for people walking and cycling. What they've done instead is now it seems opted for a plan which will cut down trees to maintain motor capacity. That's not on. And we're here because we want to send a message at that level on the local election that you need to look at what your candidates have done, where they stand on this, and vote accordingly. Just because the party that you support looks good on cycling nationally, or even sounds positive on cycling broadly, we need you to look at their actions. We need you to see what they've done, and we need you to go to them and say, why haven't you done more? The other reason we're here is the Mayor. The Mayor, Sadiq made bold promises on cycling that he's not delivering on. Routes have been watered down, routes have been delayed and routes have been cancelled. That's not acceptable in a city where cycling is hostile, thousands want to but don't feel able to. We need him to pick up the pace, to pick up the pressure and really help local authorities deliver. Now that means for him empowering people like Will Norman to do his job, because right now Will Norman seems to be mostly focused on promoting cycle routes and doesn't seem able to bash heads and get stuff done.
So Jim Killock has come along, who some of you might know better as the director of Open Rights Group. Jim, why has somebody who is known as a digital rights campaigner come along to stand in the road this morning?
Well, it's like this. I cycle to work most days and I'm risking my life every time I do it. So are all the other cyclists in London. It's unpleasant half the time. And yet it is cheap, convenient and lots of other things, and plenty other people should be cycling. But they won't until the road layouts are safe, until people feel like this is an option for them. So I want it to be an option for all of us. The thing is, here you're mixing it with cars, lorries, buses. You're safe for a few metres and then you're forced to pull out in front of a bus or behind a bus, or you've got a bus pulling in behind you. There's no way you're going to feel safe, and the only way you're going to feel safe is to build the road so you're separate from all of that, so you can feel like you're not taking some massive risk with your life every 20 or 30 seconds.
So you actually first convened this group in a pub a few months ago. Why did you get a new group together to do campaigning?
Well, I think you need as many groups as possible to do as much as possible. That's what a movement is. It isn't one group or another. It's lots of groups appearing because everybody's really concerned. And Stop Killing Cyclists and London Cycling Campaign have really built the knowledge and that the fact that there is that anger and the fact that there has been that change. But we wanted to focus really on putting pressure on Sadiq Khan right now to just get the pace up and to do something rather than dithering around.
Feel free to. Okay, so some final thoughts on Make the Lane. With this kind of direct action, it feels a little bit like in 2011. Boris Johnson had been mayor for 3 years. We were coming up to election time for the end of his first term. He'd made lots of grand promises in the trademark Johnsonian bombast. He'd introduced these cycle superhighways, but they turned out to be really anything but super. CS7 had opened by that point, just strips of blue paint down very busy main roads throughout Lambeth. Really, he was saying lots of very grand things, and the reality on the ground wasn't matching that. Blackfriars Bridge, they're actually going backwards. They were planning to rip out a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, downgrade some cycle lanes to these advisory painted lanes. All of that sort of boiled over with a series of protests organised by Danny from Cyclists in the City and Mark, I Bike London. Flash rides at Blackfriars where we got several thousand people turning up to protest on the bridge. It led up to, in 2012, in the run-up to the mayoral election, big protests by London Cycling Campaign demanding that the mayoral candidates do something better. And so in the second term, Boris started delivering cycle superhighways like CS3 and the north-south superhighway, fully segregated, protected from traffic. All of the direct action at that point calmed down. There were no protests for several years. Everything went quite quiet while we gave the mayor the benefit of the doubt, and he actually delivered. Then along came Sadiq Khan. He promised to do even better, to deliver even more miles of cycleway than Boris had done. He talked a good talk. He got elected. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's now 2 years into his term, and we're starting to see again that he isn't delivering on those promises. I think we're going to see a lot more direct action like Make the Lane as a result of that. One final thing I should have mentioned, this video has been a little bit of an experiment. Could even be a pilot episode, but I have lots of ideas for potentially doing some more of these. I have in the past written a lot about what is wrong with how we're building for walking and cycling and how we're delivering it. There's been quite a lot of negative stuff. I guess today's little video has been quite negative about Lambeth and about the mayor's progress. But I'm hoping to show more positive things about what people are doing about that, whether it's the action that they're taking, or whether it is actually showing some of the more positive things that are being built, maybe some of the cycle superhighways themselves, the mini Holland, some of the things that other cities are doing quite well and that we could learn from. So I will maybe make some of those if there is an appetite for more videos like this. So to tell me that you would like to see more of that, you could leave a comment, you could up thumb it, I think maybe is the term, click the like button, and there is a subscribe button there as well, which I'm told is what you're supposed to do. Click the subscribe button and maybe you'll see some more of these next time.